So we spent a lot of time talking about writing and organizing, but we actually spent very little time talking about the actual writing part.
Okay.
And that's on purpose, because most of the work that goes into writing should actually occur, well, in my point of view, should actually occur before you ever start writing the actual paper. Between actually doing the experiments, between reading the literature, between carefully notating the literature, most of the work you would do to write a paper is not the actual writing of the paper itself, generally speaking.
Care to elaborate? Is it in the outlining then, or?
For me, it's mostly not in. Yes, it is in the outlining, but it's in the outlining of going and reading through other papers in order to see how applicable they are into what I'm doing, rather than the outlining of my actual paper that I'm writing.
Okay.
So at that point, I'm mostly just outlining the experimental results, which hopefully I understand because I did them.
Yes, hopefully you understand. So what I think, if I'm not, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm getting from what you're saying is that the work comes from when you are reading the literature and you're understanding what is posed in the literature, and then you're taking that, key fact or key concept from the literature and then transforming it to something that is new knowledge, because your work itself is new knowledge.
Yes.
Okay.
Hopefully it's new, but yes.
I can't remember who I was talking to about this, or maybe I just did a video on it. I can't remember, but I was talking about how the point of graduate school is to generate new knowledge, and nothing is starting at this point. Nothing is starting from ground zero. Like, there is something else that you can build off of.
Yes.
There's the basic concepts that you can build off of. And I think that is just fabulous about science and about like the creation of knowledge and doing these experiments, is that we do something and then it kind of changes it changes our understanding of that concept just a little bit. Or it could a lot, you could come up with some novel finding and you get a Nobel Prize and all that stuff. But as of in my little graduate school thesis work, you change the perception, that understanding of whatever your work is just a little bit, to where you're just like, this is like a new building block.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And the best and an easy way to make sure that your knowledge actually is new is with a careful understanding of what's already happened.
Exactly. Even though I would like to ask you, because there's so much out there, right? Like, you can search something and get 15,000 returns. Do you ever feel like you are missing out on something?
Yes. But time is finite, so at some point you have to stop and actually do things.
I used to grapple with that a lot, in that, I can't read everything. And I think it was really around comps that this really was bothering me. Is that, for my field, we don't have a set reading list. we're just kind of expected to know the broad expansion of our research and just know everything we can possibly know about our research area. And that is literally impossible. There's, at my age and the time that I was given to do like my comprehensive exam, I can't read everything. I can read a good amount, well, relatively good amount, but I can't read everything, nor can I retain everything either. And so I used to find it a bit difficult and disheartening, because I'm like, well, what if someone has already answered this question that I'm asking and it's just tucked away somewhere?
Yeah, it's tricky. Like, what if someone someone actually has already done this, and I just don't know because I didn't look under that last unturned rock.
But I guess also if you're doing it, right, and like your advisor is allowing you to do it, apparently they haven't found that either. So.
Yeah, no, it is tricky though. One thing that I think at least helps me with deal with that is just the fact that I'm not the only person who doesn't have unlimited time. So if there's a question that I'm having issues finding answers to, it's probably because other people also had issues finding the answer to it.
That is true. I was talking to Isaac, who is another grad student in statistics, but he was helping me with a code, and like I just could not get the code to work. And he was like, why were you trying so long to get this code to work? And I was like, well, because I just thought I could figure it out. And he was like, no. My advisor always says, like, if you can't figure it out after 5 to 10 minutes, you're probably not going to figure it out, or you're going to take a significantly long or too much time to figure it out. So ask somebody else. And like when I think about and what you were saying, like if I can't find the answer and I've read through 100, 500 articles, clearly the answer is not clearly out there. So I probably need to restate it.
Yeah, a lot of these problems are unique. It's just a matter of what order they get solved.
Anything else you wanted to say about that? I do like that you put emphasis on the writing is what occurs outside of just you writing your own research. That's really important. That's the point of us getting our PhDs, or people who are, in the academic field, to always relate your new knowledge to old knowledge.
Yes, I guess one last point I want to bring up is the importance of taking good references and citing things. Specifically, make sure that you cite things.
Yes. Citing things, citing them correctly at that, right? Like, it's really, really important. And I will admit, like, I am a victim of this. I will read something and then I'm like, oh, that was good. Write it down and forget to cite it. And then I'm like, dang, I don't know where I got this from. Half the time I ultimately, when I first started, I would just delete it out and just be like, dang, well, hopefully I find something that resembles that again one day. But now I do a much better job of categorizing the information in the papers and their sources and stuff like that. That's what annotated bibliographies are for. I will admit though, I don't know, for some reason, citing has just been this like daunting task for me. And I think it's like PTSD from high school when like they would like really be hard on us about citing, and I feel like they didn't adequately teach us how to cite. And so I would lose so many points on papers, and I'm just like, well, I don't know how to do this citation stuff. And then you got to have the commas and the dots and the capital letters, and you got to put the year in a certain spot. Yeah. So that's why me and citing, I will record a website, copy and paste that link, and we'll figure out everything else later.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate, did you have any other writing or reading?
No, I was just looking something up real quick because the discussion of citations, I especially remember this very funny footnote. I don't know if you've seen this before, but it's the one where the guy leaves a footnote and it says, "This was once revealed to me in a dream."
I have seen that one. I think I'm gonna have to find that and see if I can insert the clip. I'm sure they have it online somewhere and insert it here.